Team, so I think that there is a scenario as we think about, when our normalcy has become degraded and we are operating in some kind of contested environment. And this scenario comes to you from the SHTF field manual. It's available on Amazon if you'd like to take a look at it. It kind of works through how to prepare for, well, SHTF. It's a field manual, it's in the name. But suppose you are driving through an area or you are on foot. Maybe vehicular traffic is out of the question. And the reason that you have left your castle is because you need to acquire some more supplies. Maybe it's food or water. But for whatever reason, you have left. And while you're out, your ability to return back to your residence, to where you are holding up, you're not able to do so. What are your contingency plans for this scenario? And I would submit to you that this is something that you need to think about and rehearse. Because it's better to do these two things now while things are normal and you can make some adjustments based off of the experience and the encounters and the lessons learned than to wait for until then when it's too late. So what contingencies did you have? And what were the actions for those who remained behind? What should they take? It's called GOTWA, right? That's what we would call it in the military. Here's where I'm going. Here's others that are coming with me. This is the time I'm going to be back. Here's what to do, and here's the actions you should take if I don't return. Do you have the ability to communicate with them at all? This is a big one. This is a huge one. I know this. You know this. I know that you know this. If cell phone networks are down, can you communicate with people as you leave? Odds are you're probably not having to go very far. So something like a UHF or VHF may offer a good choice for you. But do you have a plan for how to actually transmit what it is that you need to say? Do you transmit at all? Right? A lot of considerations here, especially depending on exactly how contested the environment is. But you've had to leave your loved ones. They need to know and they will know at some point in time when you don't come back at that appointed time that something happened. So being able to communicate with them gives everybody a little bit extra degree of security, if you will, to know that you are safe and that your well-being is okay as you continue to process through this event. What are your actions to attempt to evade observation and confrontation with others? Do you hit the trails if you're in a rural environment? Do you get off into the forest? Is there public property between where you're at and where you're going to get these resources? Or is it all private? Do you accept the risk of trespassing on some larger pieces of property where you think that you can move without anybody noticing? If you're in an urban center, just what kind of choices will you make for the roads that you want to walk on? You want to walk on the major roads, on the roads where there are businesses? Do you want to walk in front of homes in a residential area? Do you want to walk in the alleys? Right? There's all kinds of risks associated with any answer that we take, and we will not know the unintended consequences of our actions until we execute. But you need to rehearse these things and find out in your area which ways are the best ways to be able to do this. Do you hold up and wait for night? That's dangerous, that's risky, but it also has some benefits. How many hours or days can you get by with what you took out with you? Right? If you know that you're leaving and you're going to be gone for 4 hours, how much stuff do you take with you in your get home bag? If you know that it may take a day, how much stuff do you take with you? How much weight do you want to carry as you think about food, fire, water, shelter, first aid, navigation, communication, maintaining a core body temperature, self-defense, medical, all of these things? How much of each one do you need to take with you? What actions would you take if it was you at home and a friend or loved one was isolated? Would you attempt to go and search for them? Or would you call them lost? It's easy to say in these types of scenarios that it is what it is, that you can't risk 2 casualties for the sake of finding somebody. But these are actual decisions that people are going to have to make. You know that it's going to be risky for someone to move out. You know their route that they're taking, their primary and their alternate route. You know their places where they can hold up. You know their rally points. You know the checkpoints. You've been monitoring somebody's movement, whether it's through radio check-ins or however it is that you've figured this out. You know how long it should take to get from you to this particular spot. So you know that if you left, you probably know where to look in the search. But would you dare risk leaving everybody else? Maybe the person that left was the most skilled at something or had an extreme amount of value to you personally, to your family, to your community group that's holding up together. Would there ever be a point in time when you would leave after the crap has hit the rotating oscillator to leave and go out and search for somebody? If we say no, then we should honestly say that there would never be a reason to go out in the first place in search of supplies. If it's reasonable enough to leave our area, to go into a town, to go down the block, to go a couple blocks over to the store to get some whatevers, or do whatever the things are that we need to do, if there's enough security to be able to do that, then there's probably enough security to figure out a plan to go figure out what happened. Because you don't know if somebody was overtaken by force. You don't know if somebody just got injured along the way and is having a difficult challenge in returning back. It could be something benign. It's a lot of things to think about and to consider. But what I would submit to you is, as you are thinking about this event, look at it from beginning to end. I'm in my spot and I'm in my location, right? Whether it's my house, whether it's my cabin, whether it's my apartment. And I know where there are some community centers and resources around me, whether it's police departments, fire departments, grocery stores, medical facilities. I need to get out a map and trace some primary and alternate routes to get to these places. Figure out where the safest means of travel, because it may not be the shortest distance. Get to know and think more than just 2-dimensionally. Think 3-dimensionally in time and space, and think about observation posts. Think about, if something happened here, would I be left out in the open and unable to react? Because if the answer is yes, then you may want to avoid that spot, right? Think about the checkpoints that you need to put into place. Or maybe it's some rally points. What is your Gatwa going to be? How can you develop that? And then actually put boots on the ground and go execute these things. How much time does it actually take? You know it's 1.5 miles, so you know you should be able to walk it in 20 minutes on a brisk pace, but you're not going to be moving at a brisk pace. So how long is it actually going to take you to get to each checkpoint and past each of these phase lines to get to these areas? And then begin to write all of these things down so that you have a record of it. And now what you're essentially doing is creating your own annex to the SHTF field manual. Team, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you leave some comments down below as we all continue to work on mastering our craft and developing our tactical virtue. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!
Proving our point is much less important than protecting our peace. So many times we get rattled up and we have to argue in order to prove us right. But all this does is impact our own mental state. We will slowly lose our sanity. It's not worth proving a point in an argument to somebody who's not going to listen to you at all. You're wasting not just your time and energy, but you are wasting away your mental state. I would submit to you that it's probably better to push back from these types of arguments and conversations so that you can protect your peace.